Welcome to the Open Book Podcast. I'm Crystal.
I'm Steph.
And I'm Bree. And together we're your hosts, bringing you all things books, deep dives, theory spirals, and never-ending TBRs.
Every week we're cracking open new reads, revisiting old favourites, and spiralling down rabbit holes of fan theories, character analysis, and chaotic book talk.
Whether you're here for the romance, the heartbreak, the plot twists, trope lists, or the unhinged debates about who we'd die for or rank higher,
there's always room for you in our book club.
So grab your coffee, your annotated copy, and get comfy.
Because this is the Open Book Podcast.
Welcome, guys. Welcome back to Tommen Talk with Bree and Crystal. Steph is absent today, but we have two other friends with us. We have Elaine and Diana back for more because they love to yap and talk about the things that, plague our thoughts, which is Boys of Tommen. So we thought we'd come on and just have a bit of a chat about, I guess, things we have been messaged about. We did put a poll up of what people wanted us to talk about, and some of the themes came out around, I guess, some scenes, some dynamics, some misconceptions, and we thought, hey, let's make a game out of it, and we are calling it the Wheel of Bot. We've put them all on a wheel. We're going to spin it. Bit of a game show vibe, not gonna lie. I feel like I could be in my game show era. And we get 3 passes each. So you have 3 passes. If it lands on something you don't really want to talk about because you're kind of like, not today, friend, that's okay. But the idea is that, again, these are just our thoughts, our theories, our opinions. You do not have to agree. It's all just for fun and just to kind of show you that sometimes even we don't agree on things as well. And then we can all kind of decide whether we agree or disagree with somebody's thoughts or opinions. But yeah, it's general vibes. It's not targeted at specific things. It's more just what we feel about that certain theme or that certain scene. And you guys are the ones that gave us the list. So, I mean, may the odds be ever in your favor, really, is all I can say. Oh, okay. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
wait,
God,
before we start, if we pass, do we spin again?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll spin for you.
She's the game master.
I am the game master. All right, who wants to go first? Bree, do you want to go first? Do you want to kick us off with the I'll spin for you?
Okay. I'm scared. I'm so nervous.
Oh, it's so dramatic.
I know, the sound and everything. Oh.
What are your thoughts on Hugh and Pierce?
Hugh and Pierce. Oh boy. Okay. I guess I'll just talk about what I think is gonna happen moving forward with them. I do think Hugh's probably gonna figure out what happened that day at his party in 2003, and I do think Hugh's probably going to beat up Pierce. They're not going to be friends. I think he's just gonna be he's handling the situation 100%.
Every time someone says beat up Pierce, I'm like,
we're effing up
Pierce.
But yeah, I think he's definitely gonna find out what happened. Probably around his birthday time, November-ish of 2005, if I had to guess. But I do think he's gonna find out, and I think it's going to be handled in a way that would be relevant to that time period. So probably getting beat up.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a nice
because if you look at
Yeah.
there's not a lot from a minor. If he was a minor, he was under influence himself, but also the laws in Ireland aren't fabulous.
They're not great,
Joey says it all the time. So there's probably no legal repercussions as such, given that time period. But it's kind of like that, your personal justice. He will get his, and I'm 100% here for
And
the
the crowd
fight.
cheers.
And the crowd
cheers. Fuck you, Pierce. Fuck you.
I just know I'm gonna be cheering Hugh on the whole time. Whack him again for me, Hugh. Get him.
baseball bat.
Reread it. Just reread the entire scene over and over and over.
Yeah. I gotta fucking frame that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's my background. It's gonna be delicious.
It's gonna be so good.
My
Cool.
thing is just like, how the hell does he even like exist in the same space as Pierce after that? Like, how do you even like sit at the same lunch table
Well,
without just losing it every single day?
I don't know.
Agreed.
I just think it's odd that like Hugh just like continually like, yeah, he's at the same table, but like he accepts that he's at the table, that he's just there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we need more of that energy of being like,
Yes.
don't fucking look at her, don't touch her, don't talk about her. Johnny Kavanaugh, like, don't even fucking go there. Like,
Yep.
we need that energy. And I'm like, Huey, come on.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Ugh, pain. Okay. Who is next? Diana.
Oh God. Okay.
So dramatic. Oh. Ah!
Oh.
Thoughts?
Megan, I don't know. I'm gonna pass, unfortunately. I don't know enough about that to even like talk about it, to be honest.
Does anyone else
I've
want to talk
heard-
about it? I'm sure Elaine could.
I mean,
I
I can talk
know,
about
but,
this
like,
for ages, but like,
yeah.
You can take it from her. Yeah.
Do it.
Oh, we can
do it,
steal?
do it.
Yeah.
Steal.
Yes.
can you imagine if like just like, oh, I'll steal this one actually, thanks.
Yes, actually.
I'll take it. I got it.
I can talk about anything else. Anything else.
I
Go,
mean-
Elaine. That's all you, girl.
I mean, I obviously don't think he was rebranded at all. I think it's a bit like, I think it's more than a bit of a stretch myself. Like, we didn't see him hardly ever in like the first 4 books. So I don't really know why people say this, because there's not enough to actually know anything about him. Like, the most we ever see of him, like, one-on-one is with Johnny. And, like, what does Johnny know about anything that went on in their lives before he met Shannon? Like, he wasn't paying attention. So, like, I doubt he asked him anything deep. Johnny doesn't even know Lizzie's name. He didn't even recognize her. So, like, I just
perspective. It's all up to perspective. Like,
right.
we were in Johnny and Shannon's POV and Joey and Aoife's. Like, why would we know anything about Huey?
Yeah.
We wouldn't.
And people say, like, it's not just those books, like, because I think for a while people were really set on those, on, like, Johnny and Shannon's books.
Yeah.
And then after, like, I think enough people were like, we can't, there's not enough there to say anything. They were like, oh, well, Taming 7 too. He's not like himself in Taming 7. And I'm like, I actually think he really is.
But that
He's a hot-headed little boy in Releasing 10. Like, he really does have a temper. He's constantly yelling at his mom. He's yelling at his dad. He's fighting the other boys.
Yeah.
Like, he has an attitude with Claire and Gibbsy in Releasing 10 too. So, like, I don't know why people think he's so different. He's always been very, like, rigid and, like, very, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, he can be a little bit condescending, but, like, he's always been that way. That's not a new thing. And I think it's, like, to me, he seems extremely like the person he is in Releasing 10 in Taming 7.
We also have to remember that in Releasing 10 and April 2004, he went through the most heart-wrenching breakup of his entire life. Literally, he was with this girl for years and best friends with her for a year since he was a child. So if he's a little bit moody in Taming 7, I would expect that.
He says multiple times in Releasing 10 that, like, the only person, he says it multiple times, the only person who really understands him and knows every single aspect of his personality is Lizzie. And in all of the other books, he's not with Lizzie. You don't get Lizzie's point of view. You don't get Hugh's point of view. So you only see the parts of Huey that other people know.
Yeah.
And then Releasing 10, you get to see all of Huey because you see, well, his POV, obviously, and Lizzie. And you see him with Lizzie, who is the other person he feels that he can be his whole entire self with.
Yeah.
So it's like, one, I don't think he's that different in the other books. And two, even if he was a little bit different, it makes sense as to why.
Yeah, because he's not with her. Like, it's also kind of giving that, like, you're kind of, like, regretful and angry at yourself because you kind of, you put yourself in this position, like, because you want to be with her. And I think he's going to constantly just want to be with her. So he's, like, he's fighting with himself. And that's why, like, when you're in that state, you can appear moody to others because you're just, like, in this constant battle with your mind and heart being like, but I just want to be with her, but I can't, but I shouldn't, but I want to.
And, like, who's he supposed to talk to about it? Like, he has no one to talk
who's he
to.
supposed to talk to? Nobody. Yeah.
Yep.
So the poor boy is just struggling.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I didn't even notice him in the first 2 books.
Sorry, Jane. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I've just to think about, like, in the first 2 books, I didn't even notice him. Like, he was
Yeah.
irrelevant, and that's
Yeah.
I think that's how he kind of wants to be, anyways. He just kind of wants to hide
Yeah.
Mhm.
within that
And
like
people,
realm
like,
of the group.
yeah. And like, I think he's just a liar sometimes.
Mm.
Like, I don't think he wants to talk about Lizzie ever.
yeah.
No.
For everything that you just said, Crystal. Like, he's trying to not forget her, because I don't think I think he knows he never could.
Mhm.
But he's trying to, like, not talk about her because it hurts and doesn't want to bring it up. It's like too much for him.
Yeah.
So, like, of course he's not gonna, like, when Johnny brings up the fact he's been dating Katie, he's not gonna be like, well, actually I was dating somebody else. Like,
No one's trying to
No.
correct him.
No.
right.
Yeah.
And, like, everybody knows how traumatic it was for him, their breakup. So, like, Gibbsy and Feely aren't going to correct him in front of anybody else about it. They're not going to bring it up.
Yeah.
And if he's choosing not to talk about it, they're going to let him not talk about it. So, like,
Well, and he told them, like, don't let me ever go back, and don't.
Yeah.
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 So, and then
Exactly.
then evil, no matter what that happened. But
Yeah.
I mean,
And I think he's like constantly just protecting Liz at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
everything he does, even if it looks like not great from another character's perspective, it's because they don't know the why. And it always comes down to that. So they don't know that he's saying that because he's protecting Liz's reputation. He's saying that because he doesn't want people to know about what happened with Liz, or Liz is bipolar, or the things that when she goes off with Pierce, like he knows why, but he's also like not going to say anything. He's going to be moody about it because as if he wouldn't be, like, but he's constant, like his underlying tone is protection of Liz, and that's not going to change.
And, like, if like when Johnny is like, oh, you've only been with Katie, whatever. If he corrected him and was like, oh, that was a different girl, he'd have to tell him what happened.
Yeah.
Or, like, he would at least start wondering, and then he would start asking other people questions, and, like, other people may not be as tight-lipped about it.
Yeah.
Especially the rugby team. Like,
Agreed.
I think they all saw Lizzie with Pierce, like, a week after.
eventually, yeah.
Like, and they were, like, that's how Claire found out that they broke up, is that she saw Lizzie with Pierce at school.
Yep.
So, like, I'm sure other people would, like, not be as tight-lipped about it. So I think Hugh is also probably trying to, like, keep Johnny from asking any questions to anybody.
Yeah, that's a great point. I agree.
Agreed. Interesting.
All right.
What a good steal, Elaine.
I love it.
I love him.
Dinah, you're up again.
I'm up again. Let's go. Oh,
You're down one.
I really thought it was gonna go the other way. And
Yeah, me too. I thought it was going to go.
No. I love her. I cannot. I want her to adopt all the children of Cork. Like, that's. I absolutely love Johnny's mom, and she just. And I think that once she figures out, or what she hears about Gibbsy, I think she's going to be necessarily devastated.
Yeah.
Just because he's basically her child, and that she's trying to protect all these kids, and I just think that she's VIP mom of Cork, honestly. A VIP parent, honestly, because all of them freaking, we all know all those parents are not great, obviously. I'm really curious to know more of her story, though.
Me too.
Just to see if we get a little bit more of her background, just because she compares herself a lot to Joey, and just kind of saying how much she struggled and how she used to live with, or she lived with Johnny Sr. At an early age too. I'm really curious to know more about her.
What do you think about the idea that she's a neglectful mother? Not to stir the pot, but
I knew you were going to ask that.
What are we comparing her to, though? Like,
I think
like
it's
that
more in
Johnny
relation
left
to like Johnny being left alone for many years.
Johnny's basically a little man. He has a team of people that actually take care of him. His people at his club, people at school. Like, he has a team of people, and I think he's grown up in a man's world, and he's very much mature for his age. And I don't think that he needs her there constantly, just on top of him. What do you mean neglectful? But she's all up in his business all the freaking time.
Yeah.
he complains all the time that she's, like, overbearing and, like, way too in his business.
Exactly. For the love of God, she has Ollie, like, stalking him. So let's be real here. I don't think she's neglectful at all. I think, again, VIP parent for court. Adopt all the children.
Yeah. I think it depends on the kid. Do you know what I mean? Like if they're quite independent and he's obviously quite career driven and he has his own, like, obviously routine, you can kind of back off and you kind of
Shannon, what did
reward
he do?
that
He went to
independence
train and came home.
because it just kind of shows that she has a lot of trust in him, and that's why
I agree.
you offer that independence. Whereas if you didn't trust your kid, you'd be like, I'm not leaving.
Right?
I can't go to Dublin. I can't go to there for work. Like, I got to stay with you. So it's kind of like a credit to Johnny to be like, he's a trustworthy kid, even though we know he had made some very poor decisions, prior to Shannon.
I also think that like we see like Adele and his dad like come back and be a little bit more prevalent once Johnny lied about his injury, and I think that's because like Johnny is also supposed to communicate when he needs his parents, and he didn't do that, which I feel like made his parents not have as much trust in him. So they come back to the house. They spend a lot more time around him post that accident. And I think that's intentional too, because like he also has to communicate if he needs something. Like it's not up to, like, you can't read minds, you know?
Yeah.
And like John Sr. even says that, like at the end of Binding 13, when he's in the hospital room, he's like, you let me down. Like I thought, like he kind of is like, I thought we had a deal, like an understanding that like I would give you your space, you would do what you need to do, and like I could trust you to do that. But I also had to trust you to tell us like that you weren't healing, that your injury was not okay, that you were not okay, that you needed help, and you didn't do that. Like I thought we had an understanding, but. And then he was like, and now I'm coming home because I can't trust you to do that anymore.
Yeah. Also, she took off all of the Lynch children. How neglectful can she possibly be? Like she just took on 4 other kids.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like they're like a relatable relationship. Like you've got 2 working parents who provide obviously a very luscious lifestyle, but they worked to get there. Like they're not, that wasn't given to them. So they are like that, they set that kind of expectation. So Johnny is wanting to, again, work really hard for everything that he wants to gain in the rugby world. It's giving like great role models, but there's always going to be situations where like you've got to decide between, do I like stay home with my kid or go and do like what I need to do to uphold this life and like my career and stuff. And I think that's just a really common thing, like between I guess parents and their kids.
At the end of the day, like they're human. They're parents for the first time. Like even if they were a little bit absent and not in the house as much as they wanted to be, like that's not like neglect. Like they correct their action. Like they come back. Like it's not like they didn't learn from it. It's not like they were like,
I feel like they left and abandoned him and was like, see ya.
I don't know.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Like when Adele comes back and the first time you see her, she is so happy to be home. Like she's just like overjoyed with being home. And Johnny's the one that like, please leave, please leave.
Like there's still so much love there. Like you can feel that there's so much love. And it's like, like obviously there are things that Adele probably should have done more of. I mean, every parent's probably the same. Like there's no doubt about it. But
there's no perfect ever.
No.
And she's like so attentive to him when she is home. Like there's that scene where he like comes home and I think she's like cooking dinner or something. And he like says something like, oh, you don't have to worry about me or whatever. Like you can go, like what, it's not a big deal. And she's like, oh yeah. And why are you limping? And he's like, what?
Yeah.
And she's like, she's like, I'm your mother. You think I didn't notice?
Yeah.
That you weren't okay. Like, of course I.
Yeah. My favorite
Like,
scene is when she finds out that he's not a virgin, and he's like,
oh my
"How
God,
old are you?" And she's like, "Oh my God!"
That entire
and she's like, "I'm kidding, Mom. I'm a virgin."
He was like, "I'm kidding. I didn't. Like, you can't walk all that stuff back now, Johnny. Like, good try."
Oh my gosh, so good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's hilarious.
That's the first time I have heard that, though. I've never came across that. That's an interesting take.
It's out there.
Yeah, I made it fun.
Hence why it's on the wheel. Spin for me. I'm scared.
you're holding your breath, like.
Yeah, it's like when you spin the Timu wheel and you're like, I want to win. And you're like, bitch, you're going to win every fucking time. It's Timu. All right. Liz's bipolar phases versus trauma response. Interesting. I think in general, we learn a lot about Lizzie's bipolar in releasing 10, but we learn more so what she knows because you're in her head and you're learning as she learns. So it kind of makes sense that as a younger age, it's obviously not as clear for her what her symptoms are, what the phases are, when she's manic, when she's depressive, when she's in the euthymic stage. And then the blend of like the trauma because she's constantly going through trauma. So I think that confuses like readers reading it because you're like in a constant state of trauma because she is, but she's also learning to deal with her bipolar because she is obviously learning about what it is and her, you know, like certain symptoms, her hypersexuality, her triggers and things like that. So I think that's kind of what set up the confusion, I want to say, when it comes to like now we're at an older age, we're in like say 2005 timeline where she is more aware. She's been in hospital a few times. She kind of knows where her triggers are. She knows hypersexuality is like a warning sign for her mania. Like she knows those things, but the trauma is still underlying and still there. And I think sometimes that gets mixed. And at the end of the day, like from what we've seen, again, if we're looking at 2005 timeline, we're only seeing it from another character's perspective. So they might be describing it differently to how she's actually feeling and what that is. So I guess like, for example, we've got the scream at Halloween, his 18th, like that to me is looking like a trauma response because the person that obviously has been attacking you and raping you for years has now fallen on you and touched you. Like wild. Like the Where's My Girl snippet, which is around the coffee shop scene. Again, that's like it's sounding like a trauma response. It's sounding something's happened and now we're talking about it again because for a while we hadn't really said anything as well. Like when it's like specific and it kind of shows that there was no real I want to say like consistency in a phase. It's more like random, triggered. That's more of her trauma response. Doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't, like a trauma response can also trigger a change in her bipolar for sure, but it's not the bipolar, if that makes sense. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of the vibe. I do feel like in the next book we will get more of a depressive cycle for her because we got a lot of manic cycles. We got a lot of manic situations, a lot of heightened. Yes, she will have obviously hypersexuality situations, but I feel like we didn't focus a lot. Like it was kind of like off page, the depression. It was kind of like we know that summer,
internal,
right, where she went to go like hang herself. Like it was off page, right? It was like this all happened, and that was obviously a bad depressive cycle. So I do wonder because we haven't quite unpacked the depression side, like if we'll get more of that, then because we know the manic side now, like we know how it like comes about, the hypersexuality, going off the meds, blah blah blah. Whereas depression, I feel like we haven't quite tackled. We've seen her withdraw normally after Mark. We've seen her like stay home, not want to do anything, all that kind of stuff. But I wonder if we're going to unpack it more. And we do have those like snippets of like Pierce dipping every time she gets depressed. So like we all know Pierce is only there for one thing, when she's manic and when she's hypersexual. And then he's like, bye, don't want to deal with whatever the hell else is going on here. So I don't know. I just feel like we, in general, everyone will be more educated about her bipolar in the next books as she is, because she is still young and she is still learning and growing, and you kind of grow and learn with your disease as you move forward. Like, and if you think about like the time period as well, like things would have changed between 1997 to 2005. Like, and I think her going into treatment and stuff is giving her a bit more insight into it. But overall, like yes, like it's Lizzie's story, it's really Huey's story, it is Boys of Tommen, obviously. But like she needs to learn how to cope with it how to manage the symptoms, manage the phases, and move forward, because like it's not going to be something that's going to define her moving forward. Like you can live a fulfilling life with this. We just need to tackle the trauma to kind of help understand. I think for her, she also needs to know what's trauma and what's bipolar as well, which is why I think we're all confused. Like I feel like that's why there's like a discussion around, is it trauma, is it manic, bipolar, whatever, because Lizzie herself doesn't know.
Yeah.
So we don't know.
Really too, because like the woods scene, like right before the woods scene, like she's doing phenomenal on her medication. She's having, she's like stabilized, like she's like feeling great. She's skipping home. It all falls down once Mark ends up coming back, which is the trauma response. And from that trauma response, she stops her medications thinking it's not working, which then leads her into her manic episode. So like I think if she get rid of the trauma, she would know how to, or manage. I would say she would be better, more able to manage her bipolar symptoms. So it's like you have to tackle the one thing first before you can like. And I agree with what you said, like the time period thing, Crystal. I think that's really, really, really important, because I think when she was younger, one, doctors aren't going to talk to you how they would talk to like an adult about your disorder, you know? So like no one's really talking to her about what her disorder is. They're not like being like, hey, like this is what you might feel. Like they're more so like talking around her. Yeah. And I feel like as she gets older and as she like is maturing and being a teenager, maybe she will like end up like finding a doctor or finding a therapist that is willing to actually like talk to her and be like, hey, like what you're feeling is actually a normal thing with what you have. Like I think she needs to actually she needs someone to explain it to her a little bit. And I think the time period is big because mental health was very taboo. Like it was not like, we're in 2025 and it's pretty good, but like I still feel like we're not like at an amazing spot. Like there's still struggles, you know what I mean? So like you have to think back to like 20 years ago, it was way more like less talked about than it is now. Yeah. So like everyone is like trying to figure out what to do.
It's really interesting that you brought up that she was doing really well right before Mark came, because before like in late August or whatever, she's exhibiting signs of hypersexuality, so she's starting to cycle back into it, and she recognizes it. There's like that scene of her and Hugh at the pool, and she's like really horny like all the time. The doctors say it's a sign of an episode, but like you said, she was still on her meds and like doing all the things. She was still doing it up until Mark comes back. So even though she was cycling towards an episode, she wasn't there. No. Like I think she would have like worked her way through whatever was going to happen, because she would have been on her meds if he hadn't come back. And it's interesting that she acknowledges that aspect of it. But then like when she goes to the hospital, she says that they educated her a lot more on it. And she's like, they told me I wasn't a sex addict. It was this X, Y, Z. And it's interesting because clearly they told her something about hypersexuality, right? They told her something about urges, about wanting to do this stuff. But they didn't actually explain to her how to like manage that or how to anticipate it, or like
we're just like, here, we'll put a bar in your arm and that way you won't get pregnant.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that she clearly didn't actually understand hypersexuality, and I wonder if that's because of her age.
I think
but I'm also like, she was almost 15. Like, why would they not tell her? So like that's where
like my thought process is like maybe they didn't like know how to properly have her develop coping skills, that. Or like how to tell that to like a young kid. I mean, I feel like it could be hard to talk about like that stuff, I guess, with like younger. And I guess it also depends on if the doctor is male or female. That could also play a role. Like if she is a male doctor, it might be very uncomfortable for that doctor, especially in that time period, to talk to like a female child about like these urges too. So I wonder if that could play a role too. I think there's a lot of layers.
Especially if they like the parent is always there. Like Mike was there when he took her to the hospital. He's explaining to the doctor like, this is happening with her. You need to fix this. And they're kind of talking around her, like you said. Like no one's talking directly at her. So he's kind of explaining what's happening, and she's not saying anything. It's not like she's explaining herself. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is what's going on. And it's more like, okay, we're gonna talk amongst ourselves, and then we'll get to you. Yeah. So I think it's a whole
Leave it up
lot
to
of like, that's the child. We're not going to bother acknowledging her right now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, that was a good one.
spun the wheel.
Spun the
Yeah.
wheel.
Moving on. All right.
Is that my turn?
Bree, it's you.
Stress.
So nervous.
Oh, come on. Come on. Come on.
It was gonna be one of the other. I thought it was gonna go on Marmite.
Oh my gosh, I was like, it's gonna land on freaking Marmite. Okay, I'll still do this one. It's fine. Oh goodness. So if you don't know what this one is, this is actually the first interaction between Katie and Liz that we ever have. So this is in Releasing 10. Liz is like going through like her like episode, and it's in the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
And Katie ends up walking in, and the first thing Katie says is, "Are you on drugs?" It's Liz and Claire in the bathroom, and then Liz is like, "Who the F are you?" And then Claire's like, "Liz, we can't say things like that." And then Liz is like, yeah, and then Liz is like, "Who the F are you, please?" And then Katie basically just says that she looks like heroin chic.
Heroin chic.
Yeah. And so this is a very interesting scene because I feel like a lot of people are like, Katie didn't mean it in a rude way. And this is my opinion, you don't have to agree with me. If I walked into a bathroom and there was a stranger on the floor acting erratically, my first thought process wouldn't be, "Are you on drugs?" I would say, "Are you okay?" Or ignore them. Like if you don't want to get involved, just ignore it. But like if I was actually worried about this person and it was coming from a place of like, oh my gosh, I actually care, I would say, "Are you okay?" I wouldn't say, "Are you on drugs?" And I think this is where like this disconnect comes with like me and a lot of the fandom, because people are like, oh, like she just like, that's just like what you say. No, that's not what you say. Because if that person was actually on drugs and you said that, they might actually attack you. That's probably not a good thing to say to someone who's actually on drugs. Like, I don't know if you've ever been around anyone that's actually strung out on drugs. Like, don't say that. Please don't say that to them. Like it's not kind. It's not a good thing to say. Like, you can get there. Did you take something later on in the conversation? Sure, absolutely. But the first thing I would say is, "Are you okay?" I would never just be like, "Are you on drugs?" That's rude. And then she follows it up with this comment, which basically is just proving that she's being rude.
And also, like, I know that Katie is also like 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
At this point, so she is a child. I still like, for me, I can like get past her asking like, "Is she on drugs?" Because she did also grow up in Rosewood Estates. Like, she grew up on people who are on drugs. So like, I mean, like, I don't really love that that was her first question. I agree. I think, your first question really should be like, "Are they okay?"
Yeah.
But for me, what I have a bigger, like a little bit more of a gripe with is the fact that she follows it up with the heroin chic comment.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That to me it takes a turn from concern for a person and more of like a criticism.
Yeah.
A judgment. Yeah.
People always talk about that one comment that Hugh makes in Keeping 13, like, what was he thinking getting on, or like messing around with drugs, and like people attack him for that.
Yeah. I don't know. I find the whole interaction rude.
Yeah.
I just think like if you're saying manners cost nothing and that's how you first interacted.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that is like,
makes no sense.
it's very
It doesn't make
hypocritical.
sense.
It's like if she didn't say that and she was just like, well, is what it is, and kind of left it as it is, okay, sure. There's people that aren't getting along. But to kind of make a comment that manners cost nothing and like
And
kind
being
of
rude in
show
the
that
process.
you're supposed to be proper and, nice, but you're making comments. It's kind of like, well, what are you then? Like, are you nice, or are you like, well, how do you want to be perceived here? Because you're giving me two different things.
Yeah.
And she also makes a similar comment about Joey when she first meets Joey as well.
Yeah, she does.
Like with Aoife. So it's kind of like giving like that initial judgment, like of someone you don't even know.
Yeah.
I will give like Katie the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she had something in her life that like does like makes her like very avoidant to someone who is on drugs. So I'll give her that. But like if it was coming from a place of concern, there's nothing in her body language that even shows that. So there's nothing even to
No.
follow up with being like, well, she tried to help her off the ground, or she tried to do this or this or this or get help or whatnot. She didn't do any of that. Like there was nothing else. It was just strictly those comments. So like if there was something like to show that like she was actually concerned, then yeah, of course, like we can get around this comment, you know? But like I don't have anything else. Like there's nothing else in the scene. It's just strictly those two things. And then like she like leaves. Like if you're
and
actually
you pointed out body language is interesting, great stuff too. And it says that like the way she's described her like body language is she was looking down on me like I was a new breed of alien. And then later it says that she turned to me and arched a disapproving brow.
Yeah.
And then huffed and storms out of the bathroom. So like she's very disapproving and judgmental in this scene. And like they're teenage girls, they're catty and petty.
Yeah.
That doesn't make what she says okay. It doesn't make what Lizzie says sometimes okay either, but it doesn't make either of them evil. That's not what those, like, you can admit that she was being rude and also know that that girl is not evil.
Like I said, like we don't know why Katie said that either. Like we're not in her POV. So like we have nothing to justify why she's saying it. We know why Liz is saying what she's saying. So it's easier for us to understand Lizzie more. We can't understand Katie in the situation because we're not in her head. I'm sure if we get that scene in Katie's head, it will make more sense to us. But yeah.
I think it's the same thing that we've been saying. It's just like we have just these few lines in between them. And it's hard to say like, oh, well, Liz is being so rude, but they're equally being rude to each other. So it's not one-sided. Yes, she's in the bathroom acting insane, but like the reaction, it's literally a reaction to what's being said to her. So it's not like, because she wasn't doing it to Claire.
Yeah.
She was doing it to the person that was verbally attacking her. So it's just a reaction. It's a response to what you're saying. You're not going to be nice to someone that tells you look like you're doing heroin.
Yeah.
I
agree. Diana, you are.
You need an immunity necklace. Just who's up? You,
Diana.
Oh.
What is the misconception on this? It's just that they're brothers or they don't act like brothers. What is the misconception for this? Because I have a lot to say about this.
They act like brothers.
They don't act like brothers, or they do?
People think they don't.
People think they don't.
I think they act exactly like brothers because they argue and they call each other out on their shit all the time. And I think they're very equally protective of each other. Maybe they're not the closest at all times, but at the end of the day, Hugh has Gibbs back and Gibbs has Hugh's back. Yeah. So I think it's wild for them to say like that they don't act like brothers. Even on Gibbs' birthday, like Hugh goes, knocks on his door and he's sick and he just like yanks him out of his house and gets him away from Mark. So I think it's insane to say that they don't act like brothers when I think they're probably the closest thing to siblings that any of the boys in the in the series have.
Yeah.
And maybe the misconception that like, oh, he's never by Gibbs' side. But like Gibbsy has like a grip of people around him anyways. It doesn't mean that Hugh doesn't care about him less or cares about him less. It just means that he has his support and now he needs to go over to Liz where she doesn't have that support.
Yeah.
So I think coming from a person that has a brother and a sister, I think they act exactly like siblings.
The other thing about that, like people like act like because Hugh isn't around Gibbsy all the time that they aren't actually brothers. But I'm like, also Hugh also has a life. Like he has a job, he has schoolwork, he has seems like clubs and stuff going on. Like he has his own things to do, just like Gibbsy has his own things to do. Like
you're not around your sibling all the time.
No.
And like I have 5 older brothers. The way that Hugh and Gibbsy have the exact dynamic that some of my brothers have with each other, like they just like shit all over each other all the time. Like
that's what brothers do.
Know, like they're not nice to each other. Like teenage boys, even when they're like super good friends, like don't speak gently to each other ever. I made videos about this, so I could talk about it forever. I don't want to steal
I don't.
Feel this
The
one.
thing is, like, if you compare them to the other siblings in the actual book, like Hugh and Claire aren't together all the time. Does that mean they don't act like brother and sister? Like, I think it's a weird way to look at it because how you're not going to be around someone 24/7, but you are going to treat them, and he says it even like, "You're my brother. You're always going to be in my life."
He loves him.
Yes, 100%.
Gibbsy leans more on Johnny for emotional support. And I'm like,
okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're not a brother. You always have that one person that you go to with everything. Does it necessarily need to be a sibling? Does it make them less of a sibling, though?
There's things I would tell my best friend that I wouldn't tell my sister.
that's exactly what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There are some things I don't want to talk about with my older siblings because, and especially like an older sibling, and especially one like Huey who kind of takes on that like sort of parentified role for both Claire and Gibbsy.
Yeah.
Like, if you come to them with problems or whatever, the reaction they have is going to be different than a reaction your friend would have.
Yeah.
Because they're going to immediately snap into, okay, I need to tell you how to fix this.
Yeah.
Or like, I need to give you advice, or like, you should listen to me. And like when I go to my older sister and I tell her something, I know she's going to be like, well, here's what I think you should do, blah, 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 blah. Here's why. Because she's my older sibling and she wants to like guide me.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't want guidance.
Yeah.
You just want somebody to listen to you. And that's when he goes to Johnny. Like after Mark comes back, I mean, I think part of the reason he goes to Johnny is because Johnny lives elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
If he went to Huey, it would be just across the street and Mark is right across the street. So like, where's he? But Johnny just listens.
Yeah.
He doesn't have an opinion on anything. He just takes the information and like supports Gibbsy, which is what Gibbsy wants, which is why he goes to Johnny.
Yeah.
If he went
also,
to
isn't a lot of the time Liz is at, like when they were friends, let's say, isn't Liz constantly at Claire's anyways? So I feel like he wants to avoid that situation anyways too.
He was like, Gibbsy, maybe you should give some space because that's when Lizzie is like freaking out.
Yeah.
After Claire went to her mom.
And then Gibbsy feels the same way because on in Taming 7 he says here are the things I know. He was my brother, blah blah blah. Claire's mine. Like so they both feel the same way about each other. So I think it's odd to say that they don't feel that or they don't act that way.
Yeah.
And there are multiple points in Taming 7 where he was like, well, Gibbsy's family.
Yeah.
Yep.
At Christmas.
So,
at Christmas, he was supposed to be at Christmas. Yeah.
And when
he gets him from Mark, like, he goes, he's my brother, not yours.
I think it's just people don't like Hugh.
I think that's right.
They want another reason to not like him, and so they see the Gibbsy thing, and they're like, well, see?
Yeah. I feel like they...
Go on for days.
I don't know. I feel like people put Hugh on this pedestal. Like, you have to solve every problem in every single one of these characters' things. Just because you're emotionally intelligent means you can never make a mistake. Like, you can never say something rude. You can never do something or misinformation or whatnot. Like, that's not realistic. Even emotionally intelligent people can make errors and they can miss things. And I think people just like, they create their own problem. Like it's stated so many times in the book. It's shown so many times in the book that Hugh and Gibbs are brothers. So we're going to make up an issue and pretend like they're not. Like it's given to us. There's that's
something doesn't blatantly say it. It just like,
it does.
It literally says it too. But like all the other things that you'd assume, like you would just, you would assume.
I feel like people act like the book isn't being truthful.
Yeah.
They're like,
lying to them.
Says it, that doesn't make it true. And I'm like, except that it does. That's what the book is trying to tell you. Like, how are you going to say
on the page? It's literally said there.
It says, we are brothers. This is my brother.
Literally both of them say, that's my brother. And like, people are still like, that doesn't mean it's true.
Nope.
How? Like Joey and Liz parallels, even though there are multiple characters who point out parallel behavior between Joey and Liz. They're like, well, that doesn't make it true.
You can lead a
what would it take
water.
then? What would it take?
Elaine,
you're
up.
Give her something good.
Oh.
You know what?
Karen!
You know what? I'm actually happy about this because I do have a lot of thoughts about Darren.
Okay, go on.
That I have a softer opinion of him than a lot of people do. He elicits very strong reactions from people, and I get it. Like, I 100% get why people really, really hate Darren. I think that's totally valid. I absolutely get it. But the thing is that, like, In my mind, he's an asshole for coming back the way he did. 100%. He was totally not cool when he came back. He had an attitude I didn't like. And I think
Yeah.
he has to earn his place back in the family.
Yeah.
Like, that is definitely for sure. I'm glad that not just Joey, but everyone else is also kind of making him work for it. That's a good thing. However, I do understand him.
Yeah.
I understand why he had to leave.
Yeah.
I get that. I don't like that he cut communication with them, but in my mind, what I think happened is that he knew that if he had contact with any of those kids, he wouldn't have been able to stay away. And if he hadn't been able to stay away, he couldn't have actually escaped the cycle. And I think all of those kids would have, like, I don't think anybody would have ever reached the point where Teddy was even out of the house. Because after what happened with Shannon, right, Teddy is gone for a little bit. But I think if Darren had it, he would have come back far sooner than he did. And I think that Darren chose to stay away so that he could set up some sort of life for himself. Because if he had talked to those kids, he couldn't have stayed away. Like, if he had talked to, like, Tig or Ollie or even Joey is enough, I think, that if he talked to him, he would have come back and he wouldn't have had, the money that he had when he came back, right? Like, when he came back, he was like, I have money. I can, like, fix all the things around the house. I can, like, take care of this, that, and the other thing. And, like, he helped, like, I think he said he was going to pay for, like, Joey's treatment. Like, I think the Kavanaughs ended up paying for it, but, like, he was like, I can pay for that. And I don't think he would have ever reached that point and had those. And I think that's what he was trying to do, was build some sort of safe escape for them, some sort of safety net for them. And I don't think he could have done that if he felt he had to come back to the house.
Yeah.
Which he would have if he talked to those kids. Yeah. But at the same time, right, the kids have a right to be like, no, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I think that I understand Darren a lot. I have a lot of empathy for him. I think he's trying his best. I just think the kids have a right to be mad at him and not forgive him if they don't want to. I don't know.
I completely agree with everything you said.
Yeah.
Everything you said. I actually was nervous that, because, like, I agree, a lot of people are very strongly opinionated on Darren, and I fall exactly where you are falling, Elaine, on that. I think that Darren suffered a trauma that was so bad that I think sometimes it's overlooked. He literally had to get, like, surgeries to repair his body, how badly he was, like, assaulted in the foster system. And I think that traumatized him. So it made him not want his siblings to be in the foster system too, because he has that awful experience with it. And I agree with the, like, staying away. I think a lot of times, especially when you're reading from, like, a younger POV, like the younger siblings POV, like, it seems like, oh, Darren's so selfish for leaving. But, like, at the same time, if you were in Darren's POV, like, I think you would understand it. Like, I feel like the older siblings get a lot of pressure and a lot of parental responsibility that they shouldn't have, because the parents are supposed to be looking out for all siblings, not just the little ones, And I think for him, like, I don't think he would have been able to stay away if he was in communication with them. I think that'd be really, really hard. And I think this was his way of escaping and trying to be better. And yes, when he comes back, does he handle things correctly? No. But he also has been gone for so long, he doesn't even know either. Right. And, like, he's just doing the best he can do. And yes, he makes bad decisions and he makes bad comments, but, like, that's human. It's not like something that's like, oh my gosh, he told Aoife to get an abortion, like, stone him. Like, no, like, it's wrong. It's wrong. But I think he was thinking of Joey in that situation. Joey's high off his ass on drugs. He's, like, wandering the streets half the time. He's fighting everybody. Is a baby the best option? Probably not.
Probably not.
Thinking the best option would be that. So is it correct? No. And it's not what Joey wants. But I think if you saw it from, like, where he was coming from, it would make a little bit more sense. I don't think he meant it so malicious that it came out as.
And I don't, like, it's, I'd have to reread the scene, but I don't think he tried to force her to have one. I think he told her
offered it.
If he wanted to, if that was something she was considering, he said he would pay for it. That's all he said. He said he would enable it. I don't think I think he made his opinion known that he thought it was the better option. Yeah. But it's not like he kept pestering her about it or
it
being
wasn't,
like.
But I think Marie just, like, chimed in too, which like amplified the scene to make it seem like they were like, no, this is what's
Up
happening.
on
This is
her.
what you're doing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so true. But like, I don't think that he tried to force Aoife to have an abortion. He just said that he would pay for it if she ended up there. He gave her a few reasons to consider it, which I think, I mean, it wasn't his place, obviously.
Yeah.
He didn't know Joey. He didn't know Aoife. He didn't know their situation. He didn't know Joey's thoughts on the matter. And I think that is the bigger issue, is that he approached Aoife without Joey.
Yeah.
And that is not good. Because then it's behind Joey's back.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And that is where the shittiness is from.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I think that
Joey had a right to be part of that conversation, and that's why he's so pissed about it.
Yeah.
I think he kept in communication with Marie too, just to kind of keep tabs on the kids anyways. So that's his way of kind of like keeping the distance, but still knowing what's happening. But I mean, how much can you possibly know through Marie? And I think that's where Joey's like pissed about, like, you communicated with her and you couldn't even reach out to me.
Yeah. Which makes sense. Like, I think from the siblings' POVs, they have every right to be mad. Joey has every right to be mad at Darren. And to be honest, I don't know if Darren and Joey will ever have that strong relationship that they probably would have had if he did stay. They probably won't. But like, they're rightfully so angry. I always look at like in other book series too, like Darren reminds me of Nesta from ACOTAR a lot because they're both older siblings. She is very distant, and like, I'm not going to get into the whole series, but like, she's very distant. She goes through a lot of stuff where she's just like not making the best decisions for her younger siblings, and then her younger siblings like kind of have to like pick up the slack. And like, I see a lot of similarities between them, but like, I think because readers, we can see like every side of it, but like, as like, if Darren was my brother, I'd be freaking pissed.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But like, he's not my brother, so I'm an outsider looking into into their lives, and like, I can understand both situations, but like, I also think both things can be like true at the same time. I don't think Darren's a bad person, but I think the siblings have a right to be angry.
Yeah. And I think that like, he's gonna play a really big role moving forward. Like, we've already seen him play kind of a big role with Gibbsy. Right? Kind of like, he kind of assuages his fears about it, because I think he recognizes the signs of trauma. Yeah. It's interesting that people think that he knows what Mark did. I think he inferred a lot from his conversation with Gibbsy. I don't think he knew the whole time. I've seen people say that, like, I think he knows everything. And I'm like, I don't think he knows everything.
I don't think he knows everything.
I think he inferred a lot from what the questions that Gibbsy was asking him. Like, when Gibbsy, like, do you think that you're gay because of what happened to you? And Darren's like, no, Gibbsy, that's not that. Don't worry about that. That is not how that works. Like, you don't turn gay because of sexual assault. That's not what's going to happen. And then Gibbsy asked him, like, Mark at my age was evil. Like, how could he do that? I would never do that. And Darren's like, some people are just evil, Gibbsy. Like, everybody has their things. Like, a lot of people experience severe trauma. What makes the difference between whether somebody turns out like Mark and turns out like Gibbsy is whether or not that person is a good person. Yeah. Not anything else. Like, some people are just evil, Gibbsy. And like, I think he's going to play a big role. Maybe not in like a big role, but I think he's going to have his like moments, especially because he was a friend of Eva. Like, I think that can't be a coincidence. Like, I think that's going to come back. Yeah. Especially because Darren is visiting Ballylagan a lot more now, obviously. Yeah. Now that his parents are gone, like, he's back for Halloween. You know, he's like making visits. Yeah. Like, I think there's one movie night Joey comes home and is like, where is everybody? And Aoife's like, get mad, but Darren took them to a movie. So like, I think he's going to be around Ballylagan a lot more, and I think that he's going to have his moments.
There's a conversation that's going to be had.
Yeah. And like, if you think about it, like, the only person that knows Kiva is Darren. So like, we need Darren. As much as we may dislike him or not like the things that he's done, we need him to find justice for Kiva and for Liz.
He has a piece of the puzzle. I know he does.
Well, he also knows what happened to Lizzie. Like, prior to all of this. He knows.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Kiva told him the family matter that happened to Lizzie when she was an infant. He knows what it is.
And we know that Kiva had conversations with Darren around certain things, like the 18 months. Potentially, maybe she'd said something about I guess whatever maybe Gibbsy may have said. So he's probably had an inkling for a while. I think a lot of these characters just have inklings. Like, do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, you're kind of picking up on
I
things,
feel
but
like
you
people
kind of
get
don't know how to, like, whether you want
Right.
to kind of go there or ask, or you're just kind of like, that's a weird vibe. Like, there's something there.
Like they see the red flag, but they're like, I don't know
Yeah.
what that
I don't know
flag
what to
is
do with it.
I'm not
for,
gonna dig into
but
it.
I see a red.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like
I
Darren
don't know
could
if
have
he
easily just
talked.
had that for a while, and then when he's come back, he's picked up Gibbsy's now older, and he can see that he's changed and something's different with him, and he's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, maybe what Kiva had said or what he's learned about or his inkling
Totally
from when
possible.
he was younger is kind of like, yeah, there's something clicking here. And he's obviously, he hated Mark anyway, so he's gonna
Yeah.
think he's
Yeah.
evil anyways, and he just needs more ammunition and more. It's like you. He hates Mark because of everything, like Liz says.
Yep.
So it's like he just needs more evidence to like back that up.
Yeah.
Add.
So
Yeah.
I
I
think,
haven't see if he talked to Kiva at all after he left Ballylagan, because it seems like they weren't really talking even before he
No.
left. Like when they run into him in Saving Six,
They only
like it seems like
a weekend.
they talk about that one weekend, yeah.
That one weekend
yeah,
that we don't know about.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that was like a couple months before, right? Because
It doesn't really. It's like not very specific. It's just like, oh, I haven't seen you since that weekend.
yeah,
And
I don't
it's
know.
very
Then he says bye, and he's like, "Oh, take care of yourself, Kiva," which
Yeah.
I think is an interesting thing to say if you're intending to stay in touch with somebody. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's a farewell. Like, I know people say that. I'm just like,
Mhm.
take care of yourself, and then we know he disappears.
Mm.
So I wonder how many, because we know he does stay in contact with Marie, but I'm also like, did he stay in contact with Kiva?
Yeah.
Would
That'd
he?
be interesting,
I
actually.
would be interested to see.
Like if she actually told him things.
Yeah.
It'd be interested to see that.
Yeah, I also like find it interesting, like he wasn't at the funeral, or at least he's not mentioned at the funeral. I don't know if anybody would have noticed him. Like I don't know if Liz, I feel like Liz would have recognized him if he was there, because she brings up Darren a lot.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Darren, like why doesn't he come around anymore? Like I feel like she would recognize him. I think it's interesting he's not mentioned as being at her funeral.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I would have thought he'd come back for that. But maybe
Or
he
did anyone
couldn't.
tell him? Or did
Maybe because he
nobody
couldn't.
tell him?
Yeah, did
Yeah.
not
That's
tell
the other thing is like, what if nobody told him and he had no
That she
idea?
had.
That'd be
Like-
horrible.
I mean, that's why he
But
would be at the
I-
grave.
I feel like it had to have gotten back to him. I bet Marie would have. Well, maybe not if she
No.
doesn't really know the Youngs.
No.
Like who
Maybe
knows? Like,
That would
I
be
feel like Marie
awful,
knows
though.
no one.
That'd be awful. That'd be awful.
Right?
Oh, I feel like interesting. But he says like at one point in Taming Seven when Gibbsy sees him, he's like, "Oh, I always bring these for Kiva when I come and visit my mother." So I wonder when he did get that news.
Yeah.
He'll be like, yeah, like you said, one of his moments where he can kind of show that he does have some strengths that we need to tap into, and he does know things that can help us. So let's
because
use him.
part of what Joe, like hates him for is that he kind of sees him as a coward.
Mm.
It's like you didn't stay here and help me fight our dad.
Yeah.
You know, like you gave up, you abandoned us, you left.
Yeah.
I think he has to come back and prove that he can like stand up to people and like
Yes.
he doesn't just run away from fights
That
or
he's
wrong.
present and
He'll
helping.
stand up,
Come on, Darren.
Yes.
We have faith in you.
do the right thing, Darren. Come on.
It's you, Crystal.
Okay.
Wheel of thought.
We
I
just...
feel like the wheel hasn't gotten any smaller.
Oh!
Oh,
Well, Katie and Patrick, New Year's Eve 2003. Interesting, because we've actually just filmed a whole video on Katie and Patrick, which
We
will
did.
probably be up by the time you watch this. What can I say? Katie, Patrick, I think in general, I've always kind of thought, and I like had this like ranting video from like June this year where I was like, I don't like, guys, there's got to be more to Katie than what's happening with Patrick. Like, there's got to be some sort of connection that's kind of caused us to become, I guess, put ourselves into these like shielding relationships for 2 years, all this kind of stuff. Like, so to me, I was like, what if she's not a virgin and she's lost it to Patrick? They've had this like a beautiful instant romantic relationship. Maybe it wasn't clearly defined. And then something happened prior to New Year's Eve, which caused them both to kind of like spiral and not do well, which then led to Feely obviously kissing Casey and fucking her against the pavilion. Not your finest moment, Patrick Feely. So I think there's this a bit more backstory to them. Like we have this theory that Katie and Patrick actually had some sort of near miss or miscarriage leading up to this situation, which caused on December 12th is the Mr. Brightside scene where Feely does say, I need to go handle something, and Hugh assumes he's gone to go hook up with his music friend, but really is he going to handle something because something has happened, which then leads to, I guess, Feely not doing well, like Katie not doing well, like this weird kind of tension between them. They're trying to cope with whatever happened. And then obviously we're now at New Year's Eve 2003, where Patrick is, yes, he is going for Katie. And then Casey kind of swoops in because she doesn't know. Casey does not know about Feely and about Katie. It has not been communicated. And so she just assumes, hey, Tom and Guy, let's get it.
Yep.
And Patrick is not in his right mind. He's drunk. He's spiraling. And we know he has some problems with, you know, sex, alcohol, and potentially some drugs. So not his finest moment, but he definitely was going for Katie. Katie, I think for her, she was feeling vulnerable and needed like something else. So she went for Hugh. And it's Katie that kisses Hugh. I think in that situation, like there's like obviously some sort of like, I want to say animosity or some sort of challenge between Katie and Feely for them to even be on separate sides of the party. Like if they were still okay and in this like infatuation kind of state of their relationship, they probably would have been near each other anyways. Right? Like they were like he took her to Hugh's party in November. Like they were hanging out September, October. So like if you were still in that bubble, shall I say, you would have probably been together at the party, not even apart. So to me, it's kind of like something's happened for them to be apart, whether it's that miscommunication or an actual situation has occurred, which now results in Katie feeling like, well, okay, he's now with Casey, so I need to find someone to kiss me. And poor Hugh is just there, drunk, and he's just the guy that's happy
he's just
to help.
there.
He's just there. So I think there's a lot more in behind the scenes of New Year's Eve 2003, and it's all going to be part of Katie and Feely's story. It's not Hugh's story. It's not Liz's story, hence why we didn't get it in releasing 10. And we're not going to get it until we get, obviously, Feeling 12. So it makes sense, I guess, but it wasn't like, I think the controversy is like Hugh kissed Katie. He didn't. Katie kissed Hugh. Hugh was like kind of like, okay. And he was like, whoa, like a bit weirded out by it.
Too, though. I mean, obviously he could have said no, but it says it in the thing. Like, it looks like she really
needed it.
Not even like begging, she needed it. She was like begging for him to do it. Like, if you could just tell in her eyes, like she's just like, yeah.
Which, do you know what? If I was Katie and I had this like romance with some guy, we did some things, something happened, now we're not in a good place, and then he's hooking up with my best friend, I'd be like, well, your best friend's right here.
Right there.
Hence why we have the playlist Better Than Revenge, New Year's Eve 2003, Katie.
It also just gives them an extra layer to their story. Like it makes, because like if there's no background context between them and it was just like they met September, maybe they were like in like some type of like cahoots. Like if there was no problem, why are you
why are we here?
Yes, it sucks that he did that with your best friend, but why are you so heartbroken for like 2 years to like be with his best friend? That's what like throws me off. I'm like, something has to happen to cause that much pain for you.
Like this all could have happened the next day. You could have said, hey, Casey, like I saw that last night. Just so you know, he was mine, and now I feel really like, talk, let's communicate. Patrick, you go to Hugh and go, I think Patrick and Hugh will have a conversation after this anyways, and Hugh will know. But Patrick will be like, that's my music friend.
Well, it's funny because Patrick goes to Hugh, like drunk off his ass Hugh, and he's like, delete the number.
He literally punches him in the face.
He's like, delete the number.
Imagine like Hugh waking up the next day being like, "Oh my god, like what happened to my face?" Like,
And this kid,
Like-
he's just sitting there. He's like, I love her. He's like, who, the redhead? And he's like, no, the blonde. Like, it's like
I don't know why I have this like thought in my head that like her grandparents didn't like Patrick
I can
Yeah.
see it.
I can
and
see
like
it.
want to keep them apart because like there's that one playlist that was like Katie to Feely and it's the all too well 10-minute version and it's like you kept me like a secret but I kept you like an oath. So like it seems like they were keeping whatever
They were
happened
secret.
to them
Yeah.
secret.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that like Katie went to Hugh's house, right, for like a party before this. Like when Hugh was like, "Why do you know my name?" She's like, "I've been to your house." Like,
Yeah.
and
He was at the
like
party November
Feely
1st.
invited us, and it seems like Feely invited her and Casey.
Mhm.
So I wonder if like this is just my head canon, like this is just me making shit up because we don't know. But like what if he like wanted to invite them, but he was trying to keep it secret still,
Yeah.
like so people didn't know. So he was like, "Oh, and Casey, come, like both of
Yeah.
you come."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
Katie, in her mind, doesn't know that he likes Katie, so maybe she thinks that Patrick likes her,
Yeah.
and that's why he's doing that. So that's why she like swoops in like on New Year's.
Yeah.
Mm.
Totally
I
get
just
it.
think it's funny that Feely never gives her name. It's always my music friend. It's never my friend Katie. Or like that's why I
Yeah.
think like that could be the secret of like, oh, I'm gonna keep her a mystery. You'll never know who this is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Patrick
it's
doesn't-
never
wonder,
where
like,
never
why-
says.
yeah.
Like what sort of pressure could be put that they couldn't tell people about it?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is her grandparents.
And I think like if you think like grandparents and it's like that approval of like
Mhm.
you bring this like bad boy Feely who wants to be a musician, like he has no future. Like he's
Yeah.
drunk
Yeah.
all the time,
Yep.
blah blah blah. Reminds him so much of Jack. And they're like, no, like this is not good for you. Obviously they're
They're
like
like,
religious as well. So it's kind of giving like not a good vibe. And then all of a sudden she shows up with Hugh who wants to be a doctor. And they're like, yes, this one. This is the one.
This
Like,
one, please him.
Yep.
like it's like that self-approval
Yeah.
that you're
And like,
you're
like
seeking.
another reason for Katie to stay in it even after like they both give up trying like the idea of it being romantic. It's like, well, I still need you to like keep my grandparents
It's an
off my back.
image.
Yeah, like see, like I still have my stable boyfriend. Don't worry about me. Everything's fine, grandparents. I'm not going back to the freaky farmer. Don't worry about it. Because I still have Hugh, but like in reality, she doesn't actually have Hugh.
Yeah.
Like romantically, it's just like kind of for show.
Yeah.
On the outside, it's shown she has him, but
Yeah.
in
But
reality.
God, we're probably wrong. like, I'm probably wrong. I'm probably talking on my ass. So like, I'm not like set on that story, but like, I'm just like, what? I need to know what's going on.
Yeah. Wow, this thing really likes me today. Okay. I guess I'll just start with my thought process around like what I think has to happen in my opinion. Like I think for their first time, it has to be very black and white consensual. I think especially because Hugh is a virgin and Lizzie has so much like sexual trauma that I think it's very important for Chloe to make like their first time like there's no way this can be perceived as anything other than two people that are willingly getting together. So for me, like that means we are in the right state of mind. We aren't like manic, we aren't depressed, we aren't intoxicated. We have to be in a clear head, and that's both of them. Like Hugh can't be drunk, Lizzie can't be drunk, Lizzie can't be manic, Lizzie can't be depressed. Like in my mind, it has to be like them both in a fairly good state of mind. Personally, I think it has to happen at Hugh's house. I think they really do need to change the narrative of Pierce and make a positive memory in his bedroom. I think that's going to be really, really important for their story, especially because he threw a mattress at her. I think this is going to be very important. Like I think we have to like if they want to move forward and be able to like be at Hugh's house and in his room, I think we have to change like that whole dynamic. And we see that a lot, not just with Joey and Aoife's story, but we see it a lot with a lot of the stories. They do, like Claire even talks about changing memories to make them more positive. There's a lot of foreshadowing for that throughout the whole series. I think that's really important. My original theory, and I kind of still feel the same way, is I think it's probably going to happen around Hugh's 18th birthday weekend. If it doesn't, though, and I think Crystal can agree with this, like we think it's just going to be a random day. Like we think it's not going to be like a specific event. We think it's going to be more so like a random fucking Sunday. Like honestly, like if it's not like at a specific thing that we can pick out in the books, it's just going to be a random day that like Chloe decided to give us. But regardless on if it's Hugh's 18th or not, like I still am very strong on like not intoxicated, in a good state of mind at Hugh's house. Like I think it does need to be a very positive moment for them.
Yeah. And I think they need to be in like a better place themselves.
Agreed.
Like as a couple. Not necessarily like together. They don't have to be together, but they just need to have had some sort of communication, and they've rekindled their friendship, and they've kind of scaffolded back up to a better place. They're not like avoiding each other in the halls and they're like all of a sudden hooking up. Like so
like it's not
it's like giving, just they have to rebuild what they had. And communicate. Obviously they don't have to communicate about everything, that the truth doesn't need to be out or anything like that, but they need to be at a better place in their relationship to be able to trust each other, because they don't have trust, and like intimacy and trust is like the biggest thing in these books. Gibbsy trusting Claire, like Shannon trusting Johnny, like Aoife and Joey trusting each other to do it in that space. Like regardless of whatever the situation is, they need to be in a better place where they trust each other to be able to be vulnerable with each other. And I also think because Hugh being a virgin, like he's going to be so vulnerable that he like if Liz is like manic or spiraling or not well, it's also like, I know he doesn't want to do it because of that and he doesn't want to take advantage of her, but I think he's also fearful for himself and how that he will feel afterwards, given that it would be his first time. And he has this like, I think he's like scared as well, because obviously she's been with Pierce now. And it's kind of giving like that expectation, and he wants to be good at everything. So like I think he's also scared that he won't live up to that. Everything he learned sexually is from Liz. So like for him, I don't also see him being like, okay, let's do it now. Like when he's trying to build himself up for it. He's like, I need to like build my confidence up to actually be able to like do that and be vulnerable and trust her. And same goes for, I guess, her. So yeah, I definitely think if it's not that, like that weekend is the only one we could kind of pinpoint. But if it's not, it's going to be a random fucking day like everyone else in the series. It's going to be a random day, random weekend. Could be over like Easter break when we've got that period between them going back to school after Dublin, where we know they're kind of sneaking around at that period. It could be a random day after summer, like after the whole debacle in summer. But it's just kind of giving like more, I guess. It is that's the romance. Do you know what I mean? Like that's
like, I want it to be
romance.
Like I want it to be romantic. That's like this is
they need their moment.
They need a moment, and I think it just needs to be like it has to be different from all the other situations in the book. You know what I mean? Like it has to be like heated and like finally, like after all this time, they finally have that they gave into each other and they finally do it, and like it's good for them. And like regardless on if things go to shit afterwards, which probably will, because it's Boys of Tommen, like we know what to expect. We need it to be okay in that moment.
Yeah.
And I think like this makes me think of like how Joey and Aoife, like I think it's Aoife's birthday, like at her party, she's talking to Casey maybe, and like I think she says something that sort of implies like, oh, maybe tonight will be the night that like me and Joey finally do the like go the whole way or whatever. And they don't go all the way, because there's something else I don't remember. Like they have some other sort of emotional connection or whatever, and it's just not the right time that night for them to do it. And so they do it like I think it's a random day.
It's just a random day.
Yeah, so I could see something similar happening with him and Lizzie,
Yeah, totally.
like, it's almost like when the time is right, they know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it happens then. Like with Aoife, it was that moment in his house where she realizes, like, I need to build a good moment for him here. I feel very close to him right now. He's being very vulnerable with me and letting me in, and this is the time to like take that next step, is to like to work on like building off of that close connection that they have.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the idea of it being on a random day in a way, because then it's not wrapped up in anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
can't
I like that too.
you can't say because they have this emotional bond on like you can just, it can just purely be about their love for each other and not anything else going on with any big event. So like
Yeah.
I really hope it's not in Dublin, because then you could be like, well, it's because they were drunk or like
Yeah.
messing around, and
I
like
really hope it's not
you
that.
can like blame the circumstances almost. Like I hope that it's that when they reach that step, it's literally purely out of connection and love,
Agree.
like you said.
Yeah.
Also, Dublin is such a like a big audience. Like you would not think
Yeah.
that they would like make such a scene about it. I think if anything, it has to be their own time together, no one else around. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's
I
with
agree.
her, she's with him. Like
Yeah.
pure
No
of
external
mind,
factors.
doing things exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Diana.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Oh.
Hmm. What is the issue with Taming Seven? Explain so I can go.
I think that people didn't like it.
There are a lot of things.
Okay.
I think it was
mean,
too
I think we
short. They
needed-
think they didn't do Gibbsy's justice. They think that
There's
Okay.
too much Hugh and Liz.
yeah.
I can pinpoint, I think, Hugh and Liz. Honestly, I think we needed Taming Seven. We needed Taming Seven. Yes, it was short. Yes, it wasn't as large or descriptive or whatever like the other books, but it gave us so much of Gibbsy's story and why he is the way he is without really like needing all of that. I mean, yes, I would have loved more of Taming Seven, but I mean, I think we got enough. We got to see two sides of Gibbsy, of his like love for Claire and him as Gibbsy, and then in his inner monologue is him as like George, where he's just like, this is what's happening to me. I don't feel like this. I can't do any of this. Um, I think it wasn't. I think it was just perfectly done. Honestly, I don't think it's not what I wanted more. Yes, but I think it's given us enough to where it's like left off and where we a good starting point where we can start again, because it's just the beginning of Gibbsy's story. Yes, we got all of the lead up to how Gibbsy is, but I think that it leaves us at a point where now we get to see who really Gibbsy is, and that's where we kind of will start. And I think it will blend into, not necessarily blend into Lizzie's, but we can kind of compare contrast almost between the two of just like the trauma and how they deal with the trauma and different trauma that from Mark, I think.
Yeah.
I also think that like Taming Seven, like you said, everybody would have wanted more. Like,
yeah,
if there's more to be had of any of these characters, we obviously want that. But to me, like the structure of Taming Seven, it seems like, I mean, I know Chloe obviously wishes that it was different too, but like I think it really mirrors structurally how Gibbsy sees things.
Mhm.
And Claire, like,
I agree.
and it's so pulled back and doesn't have details is because Gibbsy doesn't want to think about details. No. He wants to pretend nothing ever happened. So like to me, Taming Seven, the fact that you don't see a lot of it and it feels like it's not giving you all the details is because Gibbsy doesn't want to think about details.
Yeah.
Yes.
He doesn't want to go there ever.
Yeah.
But you see it bleeding through because like obviously we get some flashbacks of like things that Mark did to him or things that he felt and like all of that stuff. Like you get pieces of it because they bleed through Gibbsy's own inner walls and masks. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't break through until the very end. And that's when you get obviously those really detailed pieces of his history, like from Mark and from like his, like, when he first met Johnny, like, you start seeing those flashbacks coming through and like overwhelming him because he's held them back for so long. I just think that structurally it makes sense. He doesn't like to go into the past. That's why you don't get their backstory. I think maybe, I mean, I hope that we will get more pieces of it in Healing 7 through flashbacks, like more detailed flashbacks, but we'll see. But like, to me, it makes sense why Taming 7 exists the way it does. I mean, I would take the missing pieces if she ever gave them to us, but like, to me, it makes sense. I mean, I get the disappointment, but
I think she gave us enough to go off of and to kind of like see how both of them think, how both of them kind of like deal with things. I think it's exactly what we needed from each of their point of view, and to kind of see their relationship and how they are together. Because yes, we see it in the other books, but we don't actually see them together in other books. We don't really see them as a couple. We see them as like, I'm flirting with you, you're flirting with me. So I think Taming 7 was a good tidbit of how they are together behind the scenes and not necessarily like in front of everybody.
Yeah. And I mean, like, she obviously had to cut things, but she obviously didn't cut things that were too pivotal for the story. Like, you wouldn't remove stuff that's going to completely shake up your whole universe. Like, so she obviously was able to choose things that were not as required for that time period. And maybe we will get that back in Healing 7 because like she'll decide, okay, now we've got Lizzie's story, we can add a bit more into that particular scene or vibe. But in that moment, it obviously was, like you said, enough for everyone to kind of get an idea of what's actually happening in the background.
And like, I think it's kind of interesting that people say it was just a Hugh Liz book, or like it was just something to set up Lizzie's story. And I'm like, Lizzie's story is intertwined with Gibbsy's, like in every.
But
they
how
both
much
share
of Lizzie do we see
trauma
though?
and
Like, you know what I mean?
And like the other thing is that like Hugh and Liz are huge parts of Claire and Gibbsy's life in general. They're always around them because like
that's
Claire and
arc.
Gibbsy are always little siblings.
To Johnny, to the Lynches. The Lynches are a different arc, and then Gibbsy, Claire, and Liz and Hugh are a different arc. Yeah.
Yeah, like people are like, well, they're like Hugh and Liz are all over that book. Yeah, of course they are. All of them are.
They
at the big
all in their little.
They all go to the same
circle.
school, hang out with the same friends. Yeah, they're gonna be at all of these big events. Like, where else would they be?
All right, Elaine.
It's you, girl.
Oh.
I'm assuming we're talking about the idea that like people in this, like the main characters have essayed each other. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that comes up a lot in comments or like in the poll. It came up a lot.
It comes a whole lot.
They'd be like, but then this happened and this happened, and I'm like, whoa, like what?
Okay. I'm just to be very, very safe with everything I'm about to say, I want to be honest that this is coming from a place of somebody who has experienced this issue before personally. So I just want to say that I don't see those scenes as cut and dry essay. I don't see them that way. I think that in those scenes, there is a not a bigger issue, but there is a wider context of that scene that you cannot take away from it. Like you can't remove the mental state of each character from that scene and conceptualize the scene that way. Like I think if you remove those pieces, it's an entirely different scene. Yeah. Those like with Aoife and Joey, for example, like Aoife is in an extremely traumatized state. Yeah. She's just been on the verge of being raped by her boyfriend's father in a very violent and very scary way. To the point where she cuts all her hair off. It's that traumatizing. And that is days later. Like this is fresh. Like it was like an hour later that this scene happens. And she is seeking comfort in Joey almost, or like she's trying to be put back into the present moment, right? She's trying to find some way to deal with all of the things that are going on in her head. she's not in a rational state of mind, and Joey knows that. He's aware of that. He sees that, and that is why Joey says no. He's trying to pump the brakes because he doesn't want to upset Aoife anymore. He doesn't want her to end up regretting it after the fact, which is why he says no. But he also wants to give her whatever she needs to feel better. And in that moment, she is saying, I want this to feel better. Like, I feel better. And that. So, like, he says no because he's trying to think what's best for her right now. It's not necessarily that he doesn't want to be intimate with her. It's that he's not sure she actually wants to do it. It's not because he, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, you explain that
It's
well.
like so, protective and like trying to be the bigger person and say, actually, like yes, I love you and I will give you that, but I'm doing this because I'm scared for you. And then she's obviously saying, but no, like, I need this to forget and I need you to, like, help me through this.
Help me.
And he will give her anything. As we know, he will give her anything that she wants.
Yeah, and that's why the scene, like, why it ends up happening is because he's like, okay, this is what she needs. And then, of course, after the fact, she does get upset. But it's not, like, but she's like, why did I do that? That's so, like, she starts feeling bad about it. But, like, to me, you cannot remove Aoife's mental state and see it in black and white. Aoife's mental state in that moment is vital to why things happen the way that they do. You can't just remove of it. And then when it comes to Liz and Hugh, it is a little bit more blurry because the scenes are written in a blurry way on purpose. But, like, you cannot remove Lizzie's mental state from discussions of this scene because otherwise it is a completely different scene.
Yeah.
But that's not the scene we're given. We're given a scene where Lizzie is hypersexual, she's manic, and when you're manic, you do not understand consequences of your actions. You have no concept of them. You are seeking the one thing that you think is going to make yourself feel better, scratch the itch, get the urge. Like, your brain and your body are telling you, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. It's not thinking about anything else. And that is why when Lizzie is manic, she acts in a way where you're like, why would you do that? Like, that's going to come back and bite you in the ass. And it's because she cannot conceptualize consequences when in that state. They don't exist. She thinks, I need this right now. And then when it comes
unaware
to
of them.
Exactly. And then when it comes to Huey, it's kind of the same thing as with Joey. Yeah. Like, he doesn't want to take advantage of her. Yeah. And that's why he tries to pump the brakes so hard. He says it, he says it explicitly at least once, but you can kind of see if you read between the lines, you can see that in the back of his mind, he is always thinking about what Mark did to Kiva.
Yeah.
He always, I don't want to ever do anything to Lizzie that would hurt her or harm her or take something from her that she doesn't want to give me.
Yeah.
He never wants to even unintentionally repeat anything that Mark ever did to Kiva. And that is why he pumps the brakes so hard all the time. It's not because he doesn't want Lizzie. It's not because he doesn't want to be with her in that way. Yeah. It's that he is scared for her, that she, just like with Joey, that she will regret doing this and that she won't want to. And that is why he pumps the brakes. So, like, the scene is going to make you uncomfortable. Like, anything in regards to any sort of gray area when it comes to, like, consent and sexual activity is going to make you uncomfortable. But I don't think that means Aoife or Lizzie are evil characters. Nothing about it was like malicious. And I think that it's like the scenes with, like, Pierce and the scenes with Teddy and Aoife, like, those are very obvious that there's no consent given. Whereas with the Joey, Aoife, and Hugh Liz scenes, like, you can see that, like, it's a little bit blurry, but it's not, like, nothing is.
You have to look at body language. You have to look at internal monologue. You have to take the whole context of the scene to understand it. And if you're looking at it black and white, I get why people would say it. But, like,
and there's
I think they take a snippet of it.
Yeah. And there's a reason you're in Hugh's head during that scene.
Yeah.
And Joe, like, you're in the person's head that we are assuming that something happened to them. Well, we're in their head.
Yeah, we're in their head.
If we didn't get their point of view, you'd just be assuming, okay, what was he thinking during that period? Why did she do that? But you're in his head, and his inner monologue is that he does want this, and he's trying to like pull away, and he's trying to be like, no, I can't, but he's like, but I do, but I can't, like.
And it's like neither Joey or Hugh ever actually hold it against them.
Nope.
Like they never think like she shouldn't have not like she shouldn't have done that, but like they understand the mental state that the other person is in, and they understand why they are like why are they taking the actions that they are. They understand that. They have an awareness of the state that the other person is in, and they understand what's happening in the scenes. And like, and I just think you cannot remove that from the scene when you discuss them. You can't just say, well, she's an essayer or she's a rapist, and you're like,
no,
you're not thinking about the scene in its entirety. You cannot take pieces away from it because it changes the entire scene if you do that. You can't just take away the pieces that make it gray. You can't remove those pieces. Those are vital, important parts of the scene. You can't discuss the actions in isolation because it like you just can't. It's important to the scene. It changes the entire thing, but that's not the scene we're given. We're given the scene as it is. You can't just take pieces away from it.
I think the inner monologue is so important because, I mean, you have the inner monologue with him and Aoife in that scene and all of that's happening. But then you also get that inner monologue where he's talking about him and Danielle. And he's like, I wasn't in my right state of mind. Like, I didn't even know what was happening. Like, he's well aware of the difference of the two. And when it's like brought to his attention, he's like, oh, like that's wrong. Like the therapist almost, or psychiatrist or the doctor, even tells him like, that's considered, you didn't really consent to that, did you? But like, I think he can tell the difference. And I think that's why the internal monologue is so important for both of that situation, because you can tell that he knows the difference between the two. So I think it's crazy to say that's like he wasn't consenting when in reality he knows the difference between it.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
I think you've got to think like as well, like back in that time period, consent isn't as like black and white as we try to make it now. Like even now, I mean, we try to make it obviously as black and white as possible, but still people are still being educated about it. There's still a lot of advertising about it. But back then, I highly doubt in school they were like sex ed. Like they just bloody chucked the condoms on the table, was like, take some. Like there's no like actual information, like sex education. We know because Ireland is quite Catholic and religious, like it's very like frowned upon when it comes to sexual activity, when it comes to contraception and things like that. So that affects how people learn about consent and how people like obviously Lizzie's parents didn't give her a sex talk. Like there's no, because it's like, I guess taboo, like they wouldn't talk about it. When you're Catholic, you know, you should be waiting for marriage, all that kind of stuff. So that influences how these kids actually learn what a positive relationship is, what intimacy is, and what consent is. And if they haven't been told any of those things, they're just making up as they go. Like, and I think that's also what she tried to make come through the page, is that they are children, they are minors, they are experimenting, learning how to cope with things, how to respond to the person they love so much as well. Be protective, be vulnerable, but at the same time not cross a line that they would both regret down the track. So I think like there's so many factors that influence it, and it's like not made to be seen as malicious, or like we know who the bad guys are in these books. Like we know when the line was crossed and when assault was obviously actioned. But for these, like to say that like these are romance books as well. Like we do have a romance subplot. Like we aren't going to be like, I guess, affecting that relationship with consent.
Yeah.
If that makes 100%. Sense.
Yeah.
So
that makes complete sense.
Yeah. I think right now, if we looked at it and said this is 2025, we'd be like, yeah, that wasn't consent.
Yeah. I agree with that too.
Back then, 2003, I'd be like, well,
I like understand like where they both are coming from. Like, it just makes
100%.
Like you're vulnerable and you're also experiencing trauma, especially Aoife. Like she thought that's what's going to make her feel better. And Joey's identifying that like she is probably not going to want this, but like he's doing it out of love. Like the whole scene is how much he loves her. Like he doesn't even know what to do.
He's like trying to give her whatever she said she needs.
Even if he was a grown man, I don't even think a grown man would know what to do, because you're not supposed to experience what they just experienced.
Right.
There's not like a right or wrong in that situation, because the Teddy thing should have never happened. That is the wrong.
Right.
That's the wrong.
Like, how do you plan for that situation? You would have never thought you were going to be in that situation. Like, you don't plan out, okay, well, if my boyfriend's dad does try to rape me, how would I deal with it? Yeah. Like, you don't plan ahead your reaction to things. And even if you could, for whatever reason, you never actually know how you're going to feel and react until you 100%. Experience it.
I think it's so easy for people to hop online and be like, if I was in this situation, I would have done this. Yeah. No, you wouldn't. I bet you wouldn't. There's a lot of people. I mean, I'm like, Crystal, you probably can like relate to this. In nursing, there's a lot of nurses that say like, I would jump in if there's a crisis, and then they freeze. Then they do nothing. They don't know how to respond, because you think you might do one thing and then something happens and you do the complete opposite. You have no idea what you will do in that situation unless you've been in it.
Exactly. So I just think that like you can't look at it in black and white. You just can't. It's not how that situation exists.
Yeah, agreed.
Not meant to be black and white because of these of all of the things. Like you can't look at it in isolation. You can't look at it without all of the key pieces.
Yeah.
It because then it's a different scene.
Well said, Elaine. Well said. Thank you, Dr. Romero.
Make it good. Make it good.
Anyway. Oh, it's mine.
That's a fun one.
Oh, we can all do this one. I mean, what a waste of space, is all I can say. Useless. Mind you, he does look like he does love Catherine. Like he does have.
I think that's the only person he does love. I think he's just like such a horrible person. He does not.
I think he really.
I feel like he loved Kiva and Catherine.
I was gonna say he liked Kiva
until she got pregnant.
Yeah, he liked Kiva until she got pregnant.
Because then she wasn't this perfect.
But I think that also probably. I think that also stems from the religious aspect of things too, because he gets really worried about how they're going to look at Mass. Yeah. So I think that's another important factor in it.
And even when Kiva is like, well, nobody's going to know, and then he's like, God will know.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
So I think that's probably where that stems from.
Yeah. And that probably influences his actions a lot, being religious, and mental health and religion also is a very particular matter. Like it's not really just like you're not really supposed to talk about things like that, which I understand from like obviously Nell in that situation. Like you're supposed to kind of keep your problems and not share them. Like obviously you share them internally and with God, but not externally, and kind of have that persona. So that probably affects a lot of his actions, because it makes it seem like he just is like worried about what everyone else would think. But I also think it's a religious thing as well, because that's probably how he grew up, and we don't know a lot about.
Do you think that's why he like hides so much of Lizzie?
Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah.
I
could totally see
because I mean the only people that really know are who he wants them to know, and it's not anyone else.
It's very protected and contained. And particularly because like his daughter is like out of control at times, and he doesn't want that image to be like, if he's not willing to share the truth, it's kind of like you're deciding you want to pick and choose what they see like for your image. And he has this weird thing with image as well, with obviously Catherine having money and Catherine like it's like his ego as well, like him being like, well, you have the money and you have the generational wealth, and I'm just like here, like on the side, like, so it's like an ego thing as well, I think. But I think he's like, I'm very interested to see what happens when he finds out.
Me too.
Like,
I agree with that.
It's gonna be
I hope he chokes on his own
Right?
guilt, personally.
Yeah.
Right
The
under
fact that
his
he
fucking
back
nose. Yeah.
across the face is wild.
Yeah.
But it's not even like it was. I feel like the reaction when he finds Liz and Pierce, like I don't think it's not even a reaction. I feel like he's just like, get out, like you need to leave. Like I don't feel like it's like it's a weird. It's not a typical reaction you would stereotypically think in your head. You know what I mean? It's just like like, well. And then he tells the doctor, like, she's whoring herself around. Like, that's the only person you've seen her with. Like, I don't... Yeah, she's sexually has hypersexuality, but, like, it's just... The fact that, I don't know, he just thinks so low of her that, like, it doesn't matter how he describes her. It's just... She's the lowest of the
I don't think he understands it. And I think he grew up with, like, I think it said his father and Mel also both suffered from things. Could he potentially also suffer from things? Also a possibility. Very, very common in families. But, like, regardless, like, I feel like he's never learned how to cope with this stuff. And now it's just, like, the pendulum is swinging. Like, he thought he escaped that. And now he's back in his own house with a daughter that now has it. And, like, his actions aren't justified, obviously. But, like, I feel like for him, like, he doesn't know what to do. Like, he like, he doesn't know how to handle it.
He says it multiple times. He, like, has these moments where he just, like, desperately says to various people. He says it to Catherine. Yeah. He says it to Pierce. He says it to Huey, where he's like, I don't know how to deal with my life. Like, what to do. Awful. Like, my wife is sick. My daughter's dead. Now I have this, like, this other girl who's just, like, crazy. Like, he has no concept of how to self-soothe or, like, heal from whatever has happened to him in his past. Like, there was one point where Catherine is like, where he's like saying that Lizzie's acting really weird, and Catherine, she doesn't know the whole truth either, but she's like, it's called trauma, Michael. Like, of all people, you should understand that. Yeah. Like, don't go there. Like, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, so he's just like, is somebody who, like, you know, they always say that, like trauma is not your fault, but it is your responsibility to heal from it. And he does not take that responsibility.
Ignores it.
He blames everybody but himself for how he reacts to things. He blames his own trauma. He blames his own family. He blames, like, things that have happened in the past, instead of just growing the fuck up and being an adult and accepting responsibilities that you have. Like,
go get the help. Go get the resources. Right. Like, go to therapy. Deal with your own trauma so you could figure out what to do for your family. Like, you are the man of the house. Like, it's so icky to me. Like, you're gonna have, like, your wife who has cancer be, like, the, like, sole caregiver of this entire family because you can't handle yourself is so icky to me. Like,
well, I feel like he just lets Huey do it.
Oh, he wants it.
And then he lets Huey
think about it.
Child do it.
And when the wife can't do it, he lets a child do it. Like, that's
that's simply like when she's like, screaming in the room. He's just like, well, who's in there?
Well, I think that's also why they. I think that's also why Mike and Catherine put a lot of pressure on Kiva too, because Kiva was in a lot of adult conversations that she should have been a part of, and I think that's because he wanted Kiva to almost take responsibility for Lizzie. Like, I don't think he wanted to deal with it. Like, you go deal with it.
Yeah, like the fact that he left them alone for like a week or something while he and Catherine went to Texas. Like, the fact he left Kiva and Lizzie alone just like to like be on their own for a few days. Why couldn't they have just waited a little bit and had them all fly together? Or like,
that's weird.
You know, he just like didn't consider anything outside of like Catherine, and like obviously Catherine needed medical help. She needed medical help. Like, you know, whatever. But like, it's just interesting how much he left them alone.
He ignored everything. Like, he made a conscious choice to be like, it's not for me. Someone else will deal.
And like, then he would like get up and leave.
Yes.
And it was just odd. It was
really
odd behavior.
And nothing like
like, I'm honestly kind of like shocked he even stuck around for 5 years after Kiva died. I think he literally only stays for Catherine.
Yeah.
It's weird though, because he doesn't even consider what Catherine has as his. Like, he's like, no, that's your mother's. That's your mother's money. That's your mother's house.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't even consider them a we or an us. Like, he just considers it, that's your mom's. Like, this is mine, that's your mom's. And like, that's weird to me. Like, you're a married couple with children. Like, you should be a unit.
United. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, at least that's what you should be teaching your your daughters, like this is what a healthy relationship is going to look like. Like, no wonder Kiva and Lizzie don't even freaking know what healthy relationships look like, because they never seen it.
And I think that he always wanted to just kind of like push Lizzie's problems away. He always wanted to institutionalize her. He always wanted to just kind of like, no, quiet child.
I don't think he wanted.
Say it again.
I don't think he wanted to raise her.
Absolutely not.
Even
I
from
think
the
he wanted no part of any of that.
And that's just so, like even if you didn't want
you have her. You figure it out.
You have her. Like, and there's like one part where Catherine is like, well, there's more to being a father than just writing the checks, Mike.
Facts.
You know, like, and I'm like, clock him again for me, Catherine.
Yeah.
Like, do it. Whack him, please.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm curious to find out what the final straw was for him, and like what finally pushes him to leave.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, like, I think it, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I think Catherine has to have like been like, enough. Like, either step up or leave. And he's like, okay, I'm leaving. Like, that in my mind is like, because I feel like she's always trying to push him to be a better father to Lizzie.
It has to be something pretty significant, because divorce in Ireland is very taboo. You have to be legally separated for years before you can even be divorced. So you cannot just get a divorce. That's not a thing. Like, you have to have a separation. So, like, I think in order for them to make the decision where they are going to end up divorcing, like, it's going to have to be some type of bigger moment for them to, like, make that decision to, like, be okay with this taboo thing. Like, everyone in town is going to talk, like, that we did get a divorce, you know, because that's not a normal thing.
I don't think he cares enough, even if they did get a divorce, or if he just leaves them anyways, because there's that snippet of Lizzie begging him.
I think from the family, I think from the family side he wouldn't care, but I think from the religious side for sure, I would agree. That's really important. He likes that image, so that having this divorce is now super taboo. So like, now you have this taboo image. So I'm wondering, is it Catherine's decision? Did she initiate it? You know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, because like, I just don't know why. Like, I think he really does love Catherine. I think he loves her. I don't think he would have stuck around as long as he did if he didn't love Catherine.
Yeah.
Because he stayed around for 5 years after Kiva died. And, like, part of that really is what you're saying. Like, a divorce or, like, a separation is a big decision in Ireland when it comes to
it is.
Especially at the time.
Yeah.
So, like, it obviously would have been a big choice. But 5 years is a long time.
Yeah.
And a lot of marriages end up falling apart after you lose a child.
100%.
So, like, the fact that he stuck around for so long, I think it means that there is love there. And, like, he defends Catherine a lot from, like, Kiva. Like, when Kiva gets really mad and yelling at her, like, he's like, hey, like, I know you're upset, but don't yell at your mom. Like, you know, all this stuff. So I think he really does love Catherine. So I'm just like, what? Like, that's why I feel like it has to be Catherine putting her foot down.
I hope it is. It really
and being like, you're either going to be a father to Liz, grow the fuck up, be a father, or leave. Because she's threatened to leave multiple times in releasing 10. She's like before they moved to Ballywagon, she's like, I'm taking the girls and I'm going.
Yeah.
And he's
she
like,
doesn't
oh,
technically
don't you, like,
need him. It's her
don't
money.
Don't
if we're gonna go for
exactly.
like, it's her money. It's her family's money. It's her family's house. You can leave and be done.
Yeah.
Exactly. I bet you she's like, okay, well then leave. Like, leave. And eventually Mike is like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, because the only time we ever see him actually pretend to give a shit about Lizzie is when he takes her to that hospital, when Lizzie's like saying, like, I need help. And then he's like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is just relief that he won't have to deal with it, right? Because now hospital's problem. Like, finally, she's agreeing to do what he always wanted to do, which is institution.
The thing is, like, Lizzie's like, I'll do whatever you want. And he's like, okay, well, finally, let's do all the things, like with the electric shock therapy and all of that. He's like, I'll do all of it.
I wonder if in that moment he thinks it's going to solve all their problems.
No.
And it doesn't.
And it doesn't. Yeah.
And that's kind of like how we get to where we get in like 5 is like, when she comes back, he's expecting her to be all fixed, perfect, no more problems, because it's fine at the hospital. And then, of course, because that's not how bipolar disorder works, and obviously Liz has been through horrible things, and I think it's kind of safe to assume more horrible things are going to happen to her. She can't stay perfect. She can't stay that perfect, like, lucid mind forever, because that's just not how it works.
No.
And I think he's going to feel hopeless because he gives up when things get hard. And so when it's hard again, he's going to be like, I can't do this again.
Yeah.
God, I hate that.
Me too.
I hate him.
God, I hate that guy.
He pisses me off. I'm just
I
like,
just hate
grow
that
up.
how he like pins a lot
That's
of
a man
a
style.
lot of Catherine's like, oh, she's getting more sick because of you. Like, what you're causing her stress. Like, he like blames Lizzie a lot of what like Catherine's going through, and it's like you're putting that on a child that's mentally ill, and that's a bizarre way to be like, it's you. You're creating this whole thing where she has like mark in her ear.
Like that's and he's like, look what you're doing
and
to
that's
your
it's like
mother.
the mark on the other side.
You're
Like,
missing
she's
her.
sick because she didn't get fixed, and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like playing into her psyche.
It's the perfect
exactly.
recipe.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like literally like they set it up perfectly for Lizzie to get
Exactly.
taken advantage of.
Yeah.
It's like a perfect storm of things.
Yeah.
Hate that man.
Ugh,
Hate that man.
guy.
Add him to the list.
Hate
Add
that
him to
man.
the list.
Well, thanks for watching, guys. We will have to do a part 2 and potentially a part
There's
3
so
because
many.
there were too many things. There were too many things on the wheel of bot.
We got a lot of the
Yes.
heavy topics too, so maybe
We did.
other ones will go
The
faster.
gods were not in our
Oh my
favor
God.
today. But like we said, these are just our thoughts, our theories, our opinions. You do not have to agree. They may change tomorrow, or they may not change at all. It really just depends on how we're feeling. But we appreciate you coming on and letting us know if there's anything in particular you want us to talk about. Let us know. We like to put polls up, so we always like to engage. If you're not following Elaine or Diana, we will link them all below. Please do. They are on Instagram and TikTok, and they may be regular appearances here on the Open Book Podcast because they love to talk for hours, and so do we. But thanks for watching, and we will see you soon. Okay, bye.